Mic's on? Yes, I do.
Testing, 1, 2.
I got the thumbs up. Okay, welcome to the Webster Conservation Commission meeting. Today is the 16th of December, and the time is 6:01. First up is public meeting, 112 Gore Road. Ryan Schofield, construction of a second-story addition. Joe, you want to give us up? Oh, we need a reading. Thank you. Public notice by our clerk.
By the way, this meeting's being recorded.
Yes, it is.
Got you back.
In accordance with MGL Chapter 131, Section 40, as amended, the Wetlands Protection Act, a public meeting will be held on a request for determination of applicability filed by Ryan John Schofield to determine whether the construction of a second-story addition at 112 Gore Road in Webster, Mass., Assessor ID 75_C_14_1, is subject to the Wetlands Protection Act and local wetland bylaw. The public meeting will be held in the Board of Selectmen Room, second floor, Webster Town Hall, 350 Main Street, Webster, Mass., on December 16th, 2024 at 6 p.m. Any person interested in this application or wishing to be heard should appear at the time and place designated. For the Webster Conservation Commission, Joey Wigglesworth, Conservation Agent.
Thank you, Commissioner Sharon. Joey, want to give us an update here?
Okay, good evening, everyone. All right, so Mr. Schofield has submitted an RDA application to add a second-story level to his home and his garage. And there is, as you'll find out as we go through the meeting, that there's going to be no ground disturbance at all. It's just popping out the roof to a second level, which is why it's under the RDA. The application is complete, and I see no reason to move forward. So with that, I'm going to show photographs of the location. This is the home. This is the garage, and as I mentioned, the renderings are going to just end up lifting everything here up to a second story. And if you notice, he's already got a spill kit there. Garage. This area is going to be enclosed, and there's going to be a second story level there. This is down the side of the home. There's a lot of impervious here, and it's quite a distance from the resource area. Going to be tying the roof drains into an existing system that he's got in place already there, just so in case folks wonder about stormwater. This is part of the expanse of his yard. This is the back of the dwelling. Again, it's going to go up to a second story. This is standing. I'm not too far from the shoreline. So you can see that it's about, I think, approximately 50 feet. Another view. And we got a little beaver. I took a picture of the beaver lodge there. And in this area, this is where he's got his subterranean infiltration system. So those are the photographs. So here's the plan. And as I mentioned, there's going to be no ground disturbance. The roof's just popping up. He does have his stockpile area in. When I got the plans, I realized that there was missing a stockpile area. The spill kit, which you've seen on location already. And then the area where the porta potty will be. And then if there are any questions, most of the project is within that 100-foot, within the 100-foot buffer, 50-foot buffer. So, and Mr. Schofield, if there's anything that you'd like to add.
No, thank you guys for your time tonight. I'm just here before you, just trying to add on a second level to take care of some additional kids that we've had in the last 18 months, 3 of them to be exact. So we got a house full and rather not leave the lake. And I thought maybe going up would be a good choice so I can raise my kids here.
Did you have twins?
Yeah, boy and a girl and a 4-month-old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so.
Bless your wife.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was my only question. Was it part of your house or was it like an apartment?
No, it was a 3-bedroom, 1-family home that we're just, adding on.
So Joey,
Yeah.
In the picture labeled 2691. So I think, since we're going up, we're not changing any calculations as far as water runoff because it's all going to be the same because it's the same footprint.
Yep.
But I'm just a little concerned about that one photo, 2691. And it seems like that one downspout right there.
Yep.
What does that go to? It's
That
This-
goes to the incline in the driveway. It's, you can't really tell from the picture, but it's like
Goes here.
leveled out and goes into there's a drainage system under those rocks along the side of the house.
Got it.
That the guy,
Right
the
along,
previous
it
owner
goes
did.
to here.
Okay. So
So,
when you walked the site, there was no other erosion issues?
No.
Or anything like that?
no, it's very stable. There's lots of crushed stone, which a lot of folks use crushed stone as their infiltration, and there's definitely plenty of it here. And then, of course, on the garage part of the house, there is, this does go down into an infiltration system.
Yep.
So that's why I took this picture here.
Yep.
So, and again, crushed stone here, but it'll be routed. So, proper erosion control will be in place. And of course, he wrote in the spill kit, the stockpiles, and the porta potty, which is what we generally see on the plan. So,
Any other questions, folks, here? No? Okay. Public comment?
you don't need to.
What?
On RDAs,
Right.
you don't need to.
All right, I'm just checking. Okay. Okay.
Chapter 91.
Well,
Yeah, well, this is an RDA. We can put it as a condition. Yeah, if we want. That's up to the board. But generally on RDAs, we don't.
we haven't been.
No.
Do you know what Chapter 91 is?
The dock registration?
Yeah.
Yes. I did.
Okay. Ever consider getting one?
Yeah.
Is your dock registered?
Yeah, I was gonna have to anytime.
Yeah.
Anytime you do work around there, I've already got the docks. I've rearranged my dock system, so I'm already all set up for it. I just got
Okay.
Yeah,
get it
it's just got to
registered.
go through the process. I can work with him on it.
Joey's very helpful in that regard. So,
With the permitting for that.
I
Yes.
can work with you on it, Ryan.
Yeah.
All right, perfect.
okay, in that case, I'm looking for a motion to approve.
Negative.
I make a motion to approve a construction of a second-story addition with the condition of a chapter 91 for the dock.
Negative.
second.
Negative determination.
Negative determination.
Negative determination.
First by Commissioner Foley,
I second.
second by Commissioner Jewell. Roll call. Commissioner Jewell,
Yes.
Commissioner Shivers,
Yes.
Commissioner Foley,
Yes.
Commissioner Sharon,
Yes.
Commissioner Parenti, yes.
Negative sounds bad. but
Negative-
it's good.
It's good in this case. Yes, I appreciate you guys.
I'll be in touch with you, Ryan, with paperwork.
Perfect.
Okay.
All right.
Thank
Thank you
you.
guys.
All right. Have a great holiday.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
Good luck with all those kids.
Oh, thanks. Santa hopefully won't break down.
Right.
Okay, next up is a public hearing for 84 Union Point Road, DEP 323-1278. And I'll have our commissioner, our clerk this evening, Commissioner Sharon, read our public notice.
In accordance with MGL Chapter 131, Section 40, as amended, the Wetlands Protection Act, a public hearing will be held on a notice of intent filed by Paul LaValle, owner, to determine whether the construction of a garage, addition, patio, walkways, and retaining walls at 84 Union Point Road in Webster, Mass., Assessor ID 56_B_48_0 is subject to the Wetlands Protection Act and local wetland bylaw. A public hearing will be held in the Webster Selectman's Office, Main Street, Webster, Mass. On December 2nd. Oh, this is old. Today's the 16th, right?
December, yeah, 16th. You can just change that. Yeah,
Okay,
that's a
sorry.
clerical error.
Sorry, I had December 16th, 2024 at 6 PM. Any person interested in this application or wishing to be heard should appear at the time and place designated.
Thanks, Commissioner Sharon. Joey, you want to give us an update on this?
All right, so the reason for the clerical error on that is because they originally were supposed to be on the 2nd, but there was no DEP number that was issued, so that document just didn't get updated to the 16th, just to clarify that. As far as DEP number, it's been issued 323-1278. Mr. LaValle's representative submitted a complete application. DEP had some comments on erosion controls and so forth, so there is this updated plan, and that's what's before you right now. So with that, I'm just going to turn it over to Mr. LaValle's representative so that he can do his presentation. Actually, why don't I show the photographs first?
Okay.
Let me show photographs first. Sorry about that, folks. That way you get a bird's eye view. So this is the front, street side. These are the walkways that will be upgraded. Backyard, everything you'll see in the presentation will be upgraded. And my computer's slowing down. There we go. Here's a photograph of the embankment, which you're going to see retaining walls go in. Another side shot from the lakeside. This is what's currently there. This is on the other side. A little bit of erosion occurring here. And there are actually some old steps that actually go down along the property line. And I believe that's my last. No, this is my last photograph. You can see the stairs, the original stairs. And this is the wall that's currently there at the top. And that's my last photograph. So turn it over to you, John.
Sure. So John Plifka, McCarty Engineering, here tonight representing Paul LaValle, the applicant. So we are here tonight proposing the demolition of a detached garage, the addition of a 3-car attached garage, and adding a second story to the existing dwelling at 84 Union Point Road. In addition to the improvements to the structure itself, we are proposing a number of site improvements, which include the removal and replacement of a number of walks and a patio, which will be replaced with a permeable paver configuration. The structure itself, or the addition rather, is located entirely outside of the 100-foot buffer zone. As we go down towards the lake, we're proposing a tiered retaining wall system to aid in the stability of the relatively existing steep slope. And then lastly, we are proposing to add or replace rather the existing railroad tie steps with timber framed. So the replacement of the patio itself is allowing us to net decrease the site by approximately 2,000 square feet. The walls itself are located in the buffer zone only. There's no direct impact to the resource area itself. And we are, proposing straw wattles and silt fence to encompass the limit of work, in addition to a turbidity curtain. There are a number of mitigation plantings we're proposing along the proposed retaining wall. And there's minimal tree clearing. We have one birch tree that's not exactly thriving that we'd like to take down as part of this notice of intent. So that's kind of, an overall view of what I have, but I'd be happy to answer questions you might have.
Excellent. Yes.
Could you describe the tiering of the wall you have?
Sure, yeah, so if. Want to bring it up closer to you? Or you just-
Yeah, I want everybody to see.
I've got it on the screen.
Oh, do you have it there?
Okay.
So right, we have, they don't exceed 5 feet. So we're gonna have two, one's 4 foot, one's 5 foot. So just as you go up, instead of having a giant 9-foot wall, we kind of broke it up and plateaued it out.
Oh, it sounds nice. Okay, so it's gonna be 2 walls then, and a
So-
wall and then another wall.
Technically, it would be 4, so it's kind of horseshoe shaped. It's one to the left and right of the existing stairs and deck.
Just for a question, I couldn't help because I know the area well. You know the incline right now that you're improving?
Commissioner Jewell,
Steepness?
could you put on your microphone?
Oh, I'm sorry, I apologize. Just, do you have any idea, because it's very steep there, do you know what it is now that you're improving upon?
Existing, I don't have the exact amount, but we'd be significantly improving it because you'd only be up that 4, be relatively flat, another 4 feet, it'd be
Right.
relatively flat.
So in that picture, there was a clump of like 3 trees, 2 birch and another kind of, those 3 trees coming
No,
down?
just the birch tree.
Just
It's
the
really
one?
just one tree. The white one.
Oh, yeah.
It's too spread at the bottom.
Oh.
The tops are already getting mopped off because it's.
Yeah, it
it's
looked
swollen
like
and
it was,
stuff,
yeah.
So,
It
that
looks-
little tree, I think
and-
the others.
In the picture, it looks like 3 separate, but it's one.
Yeah, there's that one to the, look at that picture, one on the left, and then there's the 2 is really just one. So it's the drive.
Gotcha.
And the wall isn't gonna be anywhere near the lake? How far is the wall gonna, the wall on the bottom be near the lake?
From the pond's edge, is that what you're
Yeah, the
asking?
wall to the edge of the lake.
It's approximately,
10,
Yeah,
20,
it's about
30,
Oh, okay.
about
Yeah, good. Let's put it in.
10 to 20 feet, a little less than that.
that's closest point. It's not a perfect line,
Yeah,
right? So-
I know, I've got a wall too.
Do we have a construction sequence with these
Yeah,
plans?
great, that's great.
So we do have some notes.
I see the general notes, but there's not a sequence.
So I guess overall, right, is 2025, we're hoping, or Paul's hoping to do the additions and the improvements to the structure itself. And then 2026 would maybe encompass more of the site improvements itself.
Yeah, I mean, when I first met with Joey, he said conservation's good for 3 years, so if you gotta do anything, put it in there. So
Yep.
this is my wish list. Now, whether or not I can pull it off, it's not cheap.
fair.
I do want to point out too, in the graphic that I'm showing you, the existing retaining wall that's at the top there is planning on keeping that main one that's right at the top of the slope. And then if you notice, there's, a good amount of vegetation that's coming back in here. In this graphic, you can see that. the shed is staying, the shed's going to be existing. And then, of course, we had talked on the site that the decking there more than likely would just, be replacement of, a board here or there if it needs to be replaced. So it's just on each side, just doing retaining walls to kind of stabilize that embankment.
I thought I heard you were taking down a garage.
Yes.
Did I
so
hear that?
There is an existing. So currently,
Yes,
there's a
sir.
detached garage here.
Yep, so that's coming down
That's coming down, it's gonna be
Yes, sir.
replaced with an attached.
and attached.
Yep.
And that's a distance away from the water.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a
outside
lot
the 100
away
foot
from the
there.
water. That's a lot, yeah.
Yep.
No getting wet, no, no.
Has anybody spoke to you about Chapter 91?
Joey had mentioned it.
Okay.
Yeah.
My understanding is typically a condition of approval.
Yeah, it'll be in the order of conditions that within the 3 years, you have to get the dock license. Yeah.
Any more discussion here, folks? Any special
So
conditions?
We approving all of it at one time?
Yeah. Any more discussion?
So we're going to approve it without a sequence?
Well, it sounds to me like it's going to be a phased sort of approach.
Yeah,
So-
it's basically gonna be the house definitely first, then we're gonna go to the next.
And typically, I ask that question where, we kind of work our way from one direction to the other, and one doesn't interfere with the other, and the whole idea of a straw wattle, how long is that going to be up for? So do we have an idea as to that? Like, when are we actually going to implement that phase? So it's like we have to have a phase where once we get inside of that resource area, that we need to make sure that these wattles and such are up. Not, I don't think we need it for the garage, right?
No, I mean, generally before any type of development begins, I usually come and do a site inspection, checking the erosion controls. You're going to, planning and zoning more than likely is going to require you to have a silt fence and straw wattle in the front yard. So, I mean, I'm going to have to come out and take a look at that. If, it can be a condition in there that before, let's call it phase 2, and we can put it in the conditions as phase 2 begins, that I make sure that the turbidity curtain is in the water. I make sure that the erosion control is appropriately placed. Before the tree comes down, I need to, you need to let me know, communicate that the tree is coming down, things of that nature.
All right.
So that can be put in the conditions as a phased approach.
Because I'm thinking you don't want the turbidity curtain and all that in 25 when he wants to use his boat.
No.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not getting to the,
Probably a little tricky to get around.
yeah.
So it's going to go in 2 phases.
Okay. Anything else, folks?
Nope.
All right. Anybody want to make a motion?
This is open for public comment.
Oh, right,
If
So-
there's no other discussion amongst the board.
right. So any other discussion here?
Mhm.
All right, I need a motion to open up for public comment.
I motion we open to public comment.
First by Commissioner Jewell,
Second.
second by Commissioner Shivers. Roll call, Commissioner Jewell,
Yes.
Commissioner Shivers.
Yes.
Commissioner Foley,
Yes.
Commissioner Sharon,
Yes.
Commissioner Parenti, yes.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
Patrick McCarty, the County Engineer.
Hi.
Unless I missed it, I think you asked for public comment.
No,
You just
we were
did.
opening it up for
Right
public
now.
comment.
I
So,
don't want to procedurally.
so you're open, you're up.
I'll let John keep doing it.
No, so we have, is anybody here who'd like to speak regarding public comment on this project? Hearing none, then we will, looking for a motion to close the public.
Motion we close the public.
Second.
Commissioner
Fast.
Jewell first. Commissioner
Second.
Shivers second. Roll call, Commissioner Jewell,
Yes.
Commissioner Shivers.
Yes.
Commissioner Foley,
Yes.
Commissioner Sharon? Commissioner Parent is a yes.
He's having trouble with
Motion
my
to
name
issue
tonight.
order of conditions.
Looking for a motion to approve with special conditions as discussed.
I'll make a motion to approve it as special conditions discussed at DEP number 3231278,
I second.
84 Union Point Road.
First by Commissioner Foley, second by Commissioner Jewell. Roll call, Commissioner Jewell,
Yes.
Commissioner Shivers.
Yes.
Commissioner Foley,
Yes.
Commissioner Sharon,
Yes.
Commissioner Parent is a yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Good luck.
All right, I'll be,
That's all right.
I'll be in touch with both of you with paperwork.
I don't know what it is sometimes with your name.
I know.
It's like it's
Just
like a
think of
black.
Ed. You know Ed?
Ed Sheeran.
He's
Yeah.
my brother.
Is it?
All
I
right.
wish.
Oh,
Patty,
I'm just gonna let them.
is the air conditioning on?
The next one's continuance, so.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. Okay, so next up is old business. 67 Colonial Road Enforcement Violation Update, Mass DEP file number 323-1194. Joe, you want to give us an update on this?
Yes, Mr. Sadowski, Dave Sadowski, who is the engineer putting together the Chapter 91 for this property, has had several interruptions and has not yet gotten to the RDA piece of it. So I had recommended to him that if you don't have any of the paperwork ready, then we need to continue this until you're ready to sit down and talk with me about getting everything in order with it. So we just need to continue this out to, I'm recommending to the end of January. That'll give some time. We've got the holidays coming up, the first of the year.
It seems like we see it every.
Well, there needs to be some lead time anyway because of, there needs to be at least the 3-week piece where it takes at least 2 weeks ahead of time because the TNG requires 2 weeks ahead of time. So I'm going to be giving Dave another call tomorrow and telling him that he needs to move this along and get this done. So
So 21st of January would be that date. Anybody want to make a motion for that continuation?
I'll make a motion to continue 67 Colonial Road to January 21.
First by Commissioner Sharon,
I'll second.
second by Commissioner Foley. Roll call, Commissioner Jewell,
Yes.
Commissioner Shivers.
Yes.
Commissioner Foley,
Yes.
Commissioner Sharon,
Yes.
Commissioner Parent's a yes.
I'm so excited about that.
Okay, next up, enforcement order for 71R Minebrook, Matthew Weatherby. Looking for an update on this, Joey.
Yes, so let me pull it up. Mr. Morrow has worked on a wonderful plan for restoration of the disturbed areas. Folks have had a chance to take a look at it. Let me pull it up. Here's the restoration plan. So we're excited to get this 9-page document. Thank you very much, Mr. Morrow. And I'm going to turn it right over to Mr. Morrow to be able to give us an update on this. So,
Here's something that sounds like the Star Trek Enterprise in the background. That's
Oh.
just my screen there.
okay.
Sorry, I forgot to silent it. So, first of all, the previous issue you had over Colonial, if you recall, I did some of the environmental analysis on that. So I'll also talk to Mr. Sadowski in the morning.
Yeah.
I got a couple of things I have to review with him.
Yeah, if you talk to him, just let him know that we need to get together on the Chapter 91. So I appreciate that, Matt.
Not a problem. So essentially, if you recall at the last meeting that I was at, I gave you guys a plan showing where the wetlands were, showing where the alteration, the altered area was. I've since gone back on the plan and actually I'm just gonna have to press the lid. I'm sorry, guys.
Okay.
Just like someone else we know, running from meeting to meeting to meeting. I won't say Glenn's name.
Sorry about that, guys. So Basically, what I analyzed was that there was approximately 26,800 square feet. So he had a little over half an acre of, that nasty old wetland vegetation that was just in the way, that he pulled out. So now he's got to put it back. So on site, the herbaceous layer, as we established at the last meeting, actually grew back over time really well. I was very pleased with the diversity. What I was even more relieved at was that you had a bunch of invasives that did not make their way in. And that's a biggie. So what I'm looking at doing now is I'm looking at having him do some replanting. And I have a schedule that I had sent you guys of the overstory and the shrub layer. So anywhere in the wetland, basically, we're looking at approximately a total of 22 plantings, shrubs, 5-gallon buckets, trees, usually between a 1 to 2 inch caliper. I'm also asking permission in the buffer zone areas where you have facultative vegetation that'll work for him to do some transplanting, maybe to save him a little money. Because, he is a single dad, and he's been doing a lot of this work on his own because he just can't afford the laborers. So the reason why I have this planting grid very well spread out is because what I have noticed is that you also have the beginnings of sapling and other understory regeneration as well. So what I want to do is, because over time what's going to happen is you're going to have shrubs and overstory. If you left it alone, the stuff would just regenerate. Just like when you do a forest cutting area, 4 or 5 years goes by, you go back and the area's been grown in again, like, oh my word, what's this? But what you also find in some areas that are cut, if they're not cut carefully in a forest cutting plan, you'll see a lot of the trees growing close together and they really start crowding each other out. I'm not saying that's going to happen here. And what I'm doing is I'm spreading the plantings out to prevent crowding when the natural fauna starts to regenerate on its own as well. So what I'm doing is we're kickstarting the overstory and the understory by putting the plantings in and then allowing the natural regeneration to fill it in. At the same time, during the 2-year monitoring period that I'm going to have to invest in this. So I'm going to have to go out there. I'm going to have to check it. I have a monitoring schedule in the plan. We will also check for invasives. If any invasives start making their little old way into there, we will pull them out and manage them as well. I had actually, I still have it going. And it does happen commonly. Like, for example, I did a 24,000 square foot replication in Harvard, Mass. And it was going great until the purple loosestrife decided it was going to start just marching right in. So because it's an active construction site, they actually have a crew that goes in my direction and pulls them out. Like, they're just, but it's purple loosestrife. So they've been spending the whole summer pulling them out. We haven't had that in here. I'm hoping that doesn't happen. Otherwise, he's going to have to invest time pulling the stuff out. So if that happens, that will also be reported in my monitoring reports to the commission. If invasive starts to come in that have to be managed, what they are, what was done to prevent them from continuing to grow. There are some invasives at the bottom of the wetland that have made their way in from abutting properties, in the road. It just makes its way in. It's just natural. Going from the wetland up, we've been fortunate that we've avoided that for the most part. So it's got a good base where there's not invasives, and so we have to keep that out. That's the basics. I'm open to any questions you guys have.
How often do you plan on going to see that invasives don't get there? What's the time?
The minimum monitoring period is 2 years.
2 days?
2 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 2 days.
But no, I know that. But what time, you would know that too,
It's usually from April until October.
so you would see if there's anything
Yep.
that came.
For 2 years, April to October, and that's to make sure that there's viability. And if there's anything that needs to be replanted, then this can be
In
done.
that particular area, in our Mine Brook area, in our own backyard, what invasives are you worried about?
Mostly bittersweet and reed phragmites.
Say it again?
Phragmites, reeds.
The reeds, yeah.
Thank you.
In certain areas of town, I'd worry about different other things. There was one I did, that wetland I did for Justin.
Mhm.
I'd be worried more about multiflora rose than I would be anything else. In this
Yeah.
area, it would be reeds and bittersweet, because that's what I'm seeing around.
My thought to the board is, as the board, I mean, obviously we've got the wetland professional here, but my thought was obviously discuss this, have Matt do his presentation, vote to approve the plan, and then put this on the agenda. I was thinking, Matt, the last meeting of May as a check back in. I think by then you may have started. Or do you think it needs to go a little bit
No, I
later?
think the last meeting of May is fair.
Okay.
It will give us time to plant, give the growing season a chance to start. As it is, he's going to have everything planted. I would do my
Yeah.
check-in and then file my first report at the end of June.
Okay.
And then another report by the end of October to let you guys know how everything went.
Matt, can you give me just a reminder of, because this is not really in the scope of what you have in this report, what is the status of all the stuff that was dumped there? What is that?
He's taken most of it out.
It is.
He's taken most of that out. There is some stuff that's still left, and if he wants to remove it, he's going to have to do it by hand. And I believe we had discussed that at the previous meeting.
Yeah.
I know it's been discussed off and on, lightly touched on, but there was a lot of detritus in that wetland, which is why he was going, and he thought he was doing something good.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people that aren't educated to what wetlands are and what their value is, they're just going to see debris and they're going to start cleaning it out. And that's what he did. But the majority of that is done. What's left now is mostly like frames of beds, springs.
Yeah.
Some tar paper. Most of it's innocuous, though.
It's
most of it's innocuous old
tires, a couple of old cars.
Yeah.
You
That was
know,
dumping ground.
yeah, some cement. I think there's a pile of cement there, old block cement.
Yeah. I mean, most of what's left is pretty innocuous. It doesn't constitute like an immediate threat to the environment. He will have to take it out, and that's what I'm going to work out with him, schedule on how to remove that stuff out without having to use an excavator.
Perhaps that's a schedule that gets to us in May. You've had time to talk with him on a plan of removal of that stuff. Maybe that can be part of the update in May.
Well, I'm going to be doing that with him over the course of the winter because I want to be able to get going.
Yeah.
Second.
Okay, so this is part of the restoration then, removal of that material.
Removal of the material will be part of it, but it has to be done by hand.
I understand.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, we'll make sure that that's done.
okay. There. Anything else, folks? Okay, so I'm looking for a motion to continue this to the 27th of May.
You're rushing my life away. I'll make a motion to continue 71R Minebrook Road to May 27th.
First by Commissioner Sharon.
I'll second it.
Was that Commissioner Foley? I couldn't tell. Commissioner Foley,
I'll
roll call.
second it.
Commissioner Jewell,
Yes.
Commissioner Shivers.
Yes.
Commissioner Foley,
Yes.
Commissioner Sharon,
Yes.
Commissioner Parenti, yes. Thank you, Matt.
Okay, thank you,
Great.
guys. I really appreciate it.
Well done report, by the way.
I'm sorry. what?
Well done report.
Thank
Very
you. I
nice.
appreciate that.
Thanks, Matt. Have a happy holiday.
Thanks. You guys too.
Yeah, we'll see you when it's warm.
Is that, Joey, is the air
Right?
conditioning on in here?
I was going to say, at the rate it's going, it's going to be tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's freezing in here.
The air conditioner's on.
I think it's on.
It's blowing cold air on us.
I think it was cold when we walked in here. It's actually warmer than when we walked in.
I know.
I know, trust me.
My address?
Are you
All right.
All right. Moving on to action items, certificate of compliance for DEP 323-1224, 50 Laurelwood Drive. Joey, you want to give us an update on this?
All right. So 50 Laurelwood Drive is up for its certificate of compliance. I visited the property. Everything's looking good. Let me run through some photographs for you. Sorry, that's not clear, but there we go. So this is a little embankment. Everything is nice and stable. I did ask for the silt fence to come down. These areas here, this is where that mulch is now, and it's all stabilized. So that's the other pictures kind of kicked in ahead of schedule there. Everything's looking good. This is that same embankment that's stabilized now. This is the other side. It's got needles on it. Stable, no erosion concerns. Beautifully landscaped. Got a rainbow in there. All the plantings are good. I didn't see them in bloom, but
There with chapter
naturalized shoreline, all right in here. And that's it. We've got the as-built here. And everything is in order.
They have a dock permit?
No, but there was a dock. We did review the dock license several months ago. I don't know the exact date, but Steve, this was a Steve Balsowitz. Steve had done it shortly after we permitted the project a couple of years ago, 2 years ago, I think, maybe, a little less than that.
And all the orders and conditions have been met?
Yes.
Okay. Any other discussion here, folks? Hearing none, I'm going to ask for a motion to approve the COC for DEP 323-1224.
I make a motion to approve the COC for DEP number 323-1224, 50 Laurel Hill Drive, Laurel Wood Drive.
Thank you, Commissioner Foley. First by Commissioner Foley,
I'll second.
second by Commissioner Shivers. Roll call, Commissioner Jewell,
Yes.
Commissioner Shivers.
Yes.
Commissioner Foley,
Yes.
Commissioner Sharon,
Yes.
Commissioner Parenti, yes. Thank you, Julie.
All set. Thank you very much.
Oh.
All right. Enjoy the holidays, Suzette.
Okay, moving on to extension permit for order of conditions on DEP 323-1119, 84 Upper Gore Road. We'll take this in combination with the minor modification update for information and plans for DEP 323-119. So we have an extension of the permit and we have a minor modification update as well. So Julie, you want to give us an update here?
Mr. Manzaro is now the owner of 84 Upper Gore Road. The property used to belong to the Bennetts. Glenn had done a filing on this to get the well and the septic in a little over 3 years ago. Glenn did a 1-year extension on it a year ago in January. Mr. Manzaro took ownership of the property at the end of the summer and is intending on building a house there. So he unfortunately couldn't be here tonight because his daughter has a recital and it's her first recital. So he had asked for these two items to be continued to 1/6/25. And so we'll discuss those in January.
I make a motion to continue both of them till 1/6/2025.
5B and 5C. You can take them together.
Okay, but I thought we talked about 06 January.
Yeah, 1/6/25.
Sorry. It's the 25 that threw me off again.
Yeah, the
Okay.
25 is throwing Rich off big time today.
Okay, so we have a motion to continue DEP 323-1119 to 06 January. First by Commissioner Foley,
Second.
second by Commissioner Shivers. Roll call, Commissioner Jewell,
Yes.
Commissioner Shivers.
Yes.
Commissioner Foley,
Yes.
Commissioner Sharon,
Yes.
Commissioner Parenti, yes. Excellent. We made that look a lot harder than it really was. Okay. Next up is certificate of compliance for DEP 323-1142, 190 Lower Gore Road.
All right, so finally, the as-built and appropriate, let me put it that way, the inappropriate as-built has come in. The original as-built that came in from the original engineer was not appropriate for us to review. It had virtually no information on it at all whatsoever. I have been to 190 Lower Gore, and we permitted this house probably about four to 5 years ago. The owner is a military man and had been transferred to the West Coast, and the property has changed hands. He was trying to get the certificate of compliance for this back in the late summer. But because of the issue with the as-built and not being compliant with the as-built, they had to do, the special transaction so that the property could change hands and he could move on. So we now have a proper as-built. I will show you the photographs. The property is great. There's no issues with erosion. There is a beautiful landscape here. This was added in. It was not on the original plan, so that was one of the other issues with the as-built. It didn't account for the retaining wall that needed to be in the front yard, where the septic system actually sits in the front of this particular property. This is woodland. Wetland is all in this area here. This is right outside the back, probably about 15 feet from the back door. There's a wetland. It was put in. They put in a deck, so here are the photographs. There are signs up. I've got photographs. There are signs up that needed. That's a wetland. Do not disturb. That need to be put up as well to meet the order of conditions. This is originally how the builder had left the dry wells. So the previous owner, before he left, he made sure that all of the downspouts were connected to the dry wells appropriately. So these are all connected. Now, the wellhead sits back here in the back of the property. Just some shots. You can see how close that wetland runs across the property.
Wait, just about the drainage, is it underground or is it on top?
It's underground. It's underground now.
Okay.
It should have. I was blown away at how the builder had left it. All the downspouts. There was a bunch of black hoses. At one point during the development of this, the original contractor accidentally filled in part of the wetland. So there was some mitigation plantings that were put in, and the tags are still on a lot of the mitigation plantings. The mitigation plantings were put in, and they were verified by, this goes back to Mary. Mary had verified it. So this is all jewel weed in here. So the wetland has definitely healed itself up beautifully. This is beautiful front retaining wall. But like I said, you can see that the septic system sits in the front of the home. And now all of these downspouts now go underground and are connected to the dry well appropriately. You can see the signs. Wetland signs are now in. I did meet the new owner. The new owner had some questions. I did happen to meet the new owner, and he's a retired conservation commissioner from a local town. So he understands the value of having a wetland in the backyard. This is now This has all been stabilized, but this is showing that the pipes for the downspouts have been buried. But this is all stabilized now. And those are the photographs. And let me pull up the plan. All right, so this is the as-built plan that we have now. That's appropriate. Before it was just a box here, and a driveway, and that was it. So the agreement, they've actually got the wetlands flagging all in here. Like this is a great example of an as-built. So if you look at this as-built, and you look at, nope. This was the original plan. They match up. There's not much deviation at all from the original plan. Wellhead, septic tank ejector. The style area was there, but everything's in order with this. So I see no reason to move forward.
So, but there is one issue.
This is one issue.
One of the,
Yes, because, all right, so because the original engineer, from what I understand, did the submittal of the original as-built, and because we said that it wasn't appropriate, balked at doing the as-built again, and doing the appropriate as-built. So what took so long with this is that the previous owner had to, previous owner's representative had to source out another qualified person to do this as-built. So the only thing that we're missing with this is the letter that says that this meets the standards of our order of conditions. That's the only thing that meets this. That's missing with this. That's the only. It's an issue. It's not a major issue. But what I would do is in the motion with this, I would say I approve. I move that we approve this without the standard letter from the engineer. We're never going to get a letter from an engineer on this, so it's unfortunate, but
everybody understand that issue?
and the previous owner obviously wants to move this along. I mean, he's not even a Massachusetts resident now anymore, so it's hanging, and there is some financial piece that's hanging as well. So,
Any other questions or discussion? Okay, so we're looking for a motion to approve COC with the stipulation that we're not going to require an engineering letter because of the issue that's been discussed.
So I'll make a motion to approve COC DEP 3231142 with the exception of waiving the engineer letter because of the issues that were just discussed.
First by Commissioner Sharon,
I'll second.
second by Commissioner Foley. Roll call, Commissioner Jewell,
Yes.
Commissioner Shivers.
Yes.
Commissioner Foley,
Yes.
Commissioner Sharon,
Yes.
Commissioner Parents, a yes. Thank you, Joey.
okay, great.
Okay, next up,
Oh, are you Gia? Yeah. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize you were here. Sorry. This is Gia. This is the previous owner's representative.
oh,
So I'm sorry.
It's been a long time.
I didn't even.
I appreciate, You're so quiet back there.
It was going so well. Why interrupt?
I'm sorry. I tend to look this way, so and I've got the TV in my. I'm so sorry about that. So what I'll do is I will get this paperwork done as soon as possible, and I'll get it over to you. Okay. Great. Yeah, it hasn't been an easy process. I'm so sorry. Absolutely. Yeah.
Holiday gift.
Yeah.
Yes.
Merry Christmas.
Yes. And let Nick know. Great. All right. Happy holidays. All right. Thank you. Take care.
Okay, so next up is prioritizing goals for 2025 for the Conservation Commission. First off, just want to open up to anybody have any more discussion on this? Yes.
I do have something in the works that I would like WLA and the conservation to get. There's going to be a lot of steps to do, and I'm speaking with one of the selectmen, so I'm hoping that we can have a team thing of opening the rain garden, which Joey and I were very much a part of. There was a delay with some technicality. So we were part of it, even though we got the money from Senator Fatman, and it was mainly through the Lake Association. However, the conservation at that time was very part of that, as well as Pout Pond. Yeah, their involvement was fabulous. But so I think it's what you're doing is great. It's just that I've had other stuff going on too.
Mhm.
So I understand your outreach, but I don't think we should limit it to the Lake Association, the Boys and Girls Club. Different real estate, the fishing
Wasn't limiting it at all. It was,
Yeah.
this is all about us and what we want to achieve here in Webster.
yeah.
I'm not lake specific
Right.
at
Well,
all.
we had already, like I said, we had already done some work. I had Joey come to Kildare Island Club. And there's still, no matter what you do, when we're used as a government agency that's telling people what to do with their property, it's a lot of work. And even that night, there was some resistance, even though in general, it was considered an educational night.
Yeah.
So, but there's organizations in town. I think it's great, but
Okay.
it does take some time to make sure that this is okay. That's
I agree. So I think what I've been hearing over and over again, and I was purposely quiet last time to sort of hear what everybody's thing was, is that we've sort of settled on the education part of all of this. There were many different angles I tried to throw out and present to all of you, but we've all sort of migrated towards this educational piece. Am I correct about that? Would you feel? Okay. So I think that's what Joey and I were talking about. I think that will be the next step. We're sort of take that headline of education and we want to make a plan so that there will be basically deliverables, things that we specifically want to hit. So you could bring up the rain garden, specifically what we're looking to do with that. And we can introduce other sorts of deliverables so that when at the end of the year, we can just sort of look at all the check marks that we've accomplished and that we've done these things.
There was something on the back burner, but between getting the website going, we did have delays, and then there were internal delays with turnover of staff and commissioners. So I don't know if those people are even interested anymore. But and the other thing I was thinking is some pamphlets, and again, I don't know how far this can go. I mean, Joey has access, that's invasive species, right here. What are we seeing here? One, and then two, I don't know what would be plagiarism, or if we could buff it up to say it's use something as a baseline and then change it a bit, and then pass it out in the community and say this is the invasive that we're interested in.
Well, I think
The invasives
generally,
in the lake, the invasives on Minebrook, but stamping our name on some of that stuff.
well, it's not plagiarism so long as we, give credit to the people who've actually written it. And I think people generally who write these sorts of materials are more than happy when people pass it on for other people to read. So I don't think we need to change anybody else's material. Just give them credit because they've produced the
I was really
document.
energized with that meeting. You guys, next time you try to make it, it was just great. All of us were thinking alike about the environment, about what's right in front of us. It's really, really
We
cool.
went on the wrong night.
Well, I've done that to a party.
We were
Yeah.
told to go on, I think they had it in.
It wasn't a night, it was a day. It was Saturday.
Oh, then we're talking about something different.
Okay, yeah. I see at my
You know, we do
age,
record
I
these
have to-
things, I'm just
I
saying.
have to write it,
Maybe we didn't
everything
record that
down
part.
on the refrigerator.
Okay, so we all in agreement? If this a decent plan and sort of come up with some things that we want to check off as like we've accomplished this educational piece? We'll be looking for people to go out to the schools and deliver.
Yeah, who I
Presentations.
think really responsible for that kind of message is our chairperson. In my opinion, chairperson parent should be the one with the flag and the banner, and I'll be a cheerleader. Go, Rich.
Okay.
If I may, I think that, you know, as a former chairperson myself, it's, you know, I mean, there is a challenge, and there is a heavy burden of, you know, often like, well, you know, like Rich is trying to do exactly what I was trying to do at one point, was try to get out into the community and do Earth Day. And, you know, certain projects, can we try to pull in, you know, the Boy Scouts, the Girl Scouts, or, you know, other organizations, you know, informational nights at, you know, WLA or Kildare Island Club or Birch Island or wherever. But a lot of, you know, a lot of what we talked about before, which I know that it wasn't a comforting feeling, was the social media aspect, you know. But if you think about it, we're all members of an organization of which I used to work for that disseminates a lot of information down to commissioners. And some of that information we can actually break off and take, and we can disseminate that into our community, you know, because it's informational stuff for us. I mean, it's informational stuff for anybody. So I think what Rich and I need to do is we need to probably plan just to sit down and put together, you know, maybe a couple bullet points of, all right, we plan to do, you know, three, you know, let's call them lunch and learns, or, you know, informational talks. And then we plan to, you know, if we want to try to go the route of social media, how can we do it? You know, put you know, these things into perspective, and maybe, you know, not have it so overwhelming, because of course we all realize that we need the educational aspect to get out into the community. That way we have less violators, hopefully. But also people will hopefully do the right thing, and they'll be able to identify when someone might not be doing the right thing. And, you know, then that can warrant a conversation with me to talk with a resident about, hey, you know, did you know? You know?
No, it was great that Rich was, it was Mike, me, him at the, like, one on weed control. And we gotta, in my opinion, but again, everyone, I like diversity thinking, is the word dredging has gotten to be a swear word, and it's not. There's dredging that needs to be permitted, and there's dredging that needs to be more permitted. You know, we're clearing out different areas, but it's been a good thing in some, but it has to be permitted. That's it. So, I mean, that's the message that I got that night. You know, and it was great that you were there as support.
Okay. Any others? Good. Hopefully you'll be hearing more from me and Joey on this matter. Talk to me if you want more information. Okay, moving on. Draft meeting minutes. Do we have a chance to read them? Okay, so let's take these to get separately.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman, I've got corrections.
Uh-huh.
I do too.
Let's see.
So I was trying to take these separately, and we're going to start with November the 18th, 2024. Would you like to start?
So on this particular one, it's more of a question than an answer. They have clerk Mike Taco. Should I also have clerk next to my name? Or co-clerk, or That was a question.
I think that's where I had told, I had let Kelly know that you had become co-clerk. We can add that in there.
We should.
My correction on this was Matt Morrow's name is spelled incorrectly. For old business number, the first one for enforcement order is 71.
I wouldn't know how to spell his
Yeah,
name.
Yeah.
so I just need to let Kelly know, ag clerk and Morrow's name spelled
How do
correctly.
you spell it?
Marro.
Oh, she did it this.
Yeah.
I probably would have done it that way too.
I read right through it.
Otherwise, I had nothing else. It was fine.
Okay, so we're looking for a motion to approve November 18th with the changes discussed.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from November 18th with changes discussed.
First by Commissioner Sharon,
I'll second.
second by Commissioner Shivers. Roll call, Commissioner Jewell,
Yes.
Commissioner Shivers,
Yes.
Commissioner Foley,
Yes.
Commissioner Sharon,
Yes.
Commissioner Parent says yes. Next up, we're going to take a look at the 2nd of December, 2024. Joe, oh, you have some?
I
Well,
do.
let's hear yours.
Well, it says those attending, Clerk Mike Taco. And then it says those absent, Clerk Mike Taco.
Good, that's Joey's as well.
Oh,
Yeah,
good.
he needed to
Joey
be,
and I,
needs to be omitted.
and he wasn't here.
He was not here. That was it, right, Joey?
Otherwise, it
Was it
looked
for you?
fine to me.
Good.
Yeah.
All right, looking for a motion to approve December 2nd, 2024 with the changes discussed.
I will make a motion to approve the minutes from December 2nd, 2024 with the changes discussed.
First by Commissioner Sharon,
Second.
second by Commissioner Shivers. Roll call, Commissioner Jewell,
Abstain. I wasn't here.
Commissioner Shivers.
Yes.
Commissioner Foley, Commissioner Sharon,
Yes.
Commissioner Parent, yes. Thank you. Joey, would you like to give us the staff reports?
Sure, I've just got two things. Number one, I want to call everyone's attention to a updated on our website for resources. If you go to native plants list, I've got this amazing UMass list for freshwater resource buffer zones. These are different trees that grow, low shrubs. These are, so if people are asking on what can I plant where, what the pot size is that you should plant. So there's, it goes low, it goes medium, buttonbush, silky dogwood, hazel, witch hazel. These are all wonderful things you can plant in wetland resource areas in the buffer zone. Then it goes to tall shrubs and then into trees. Yeah, red cedar. This is a fantastic document that I found on UMass. So trees, and then freshwater resource. This is the one that you want to pay attention to, the lakes, ponds, and BVW. But the freshwater, it's a wonderful resource. And if anyone wanted to, you could, I've actually taken this, I've exported it into an Excel file and I printed some up, giving credit to UMass on the bottom. And so when I go to site visits to talk with folks that are looking to do projects and they've got questions on, well, what can I plant here? I hand them one of these and I tell them about UMass. So this is a new document on our website. And then the only thing that I've got to report out on that was bigger from last week was I did that walkthrough at 114 Worcester Road, the old LaPlante Brothers that we've got a enforcement order out on. I met up with the potential new junk license owner. I think he might potentially purchase the property too. I'm not exactly sure about that, but the new holder for the junk holder's license, I met up with him, his attorney, and then Sebastian, our building commissioner, came with me. I've seen a lot of stuff in the stream that flows across there. There's as everyone can see from the street, there's all sorts of metal. There's tires. There's 18-wheeler trailers. Further inland, you can actually see from an adjacent street, but I actually walked up to it. There's a crane sitting right in the resource area. So the plan is that we talked about is the Vito is the name of the gentleman. He is going to put together I told him that he needs to put together a phased approach because we love our phased approaches. And set it up so that I'm going to do this many feet in this amount of time. This is what needs to get done, and this is how I'm going to do it. This probably obviously didn't get this way overnight. It's going to take some time for him to clean it up. So I told him that get a phased approach to me, and as soon as I have that, I can put it before you folks. You can look at it and you can approve the phased approach, or at least be in the know that this is going on. I gave him the go-ahead to go in there and start getting tires and metal and all that stuff out of there. In the official enforcement order, it is written that all items that are in the stream need to be removed from the stream, and any materials or junk materials, debris needs to be moved back 25 feet. So that's what's in our official enforcement order. So very positive walkthrough. I don't see any, knock on wood, I don't see any hiccups with this. I'm just waiting for a phased approach to come to me. So as soon as I have that information, I can send it along to you and we can review it.
I know you said that you're not big on bringing back the site, but if we ask you specifically, can I go with you on this site visit? Do you have an aversion to that?
I'm sorry?
Like specific site visits, can we ask to accompany?
I need to talk with Rick, our town manager, about that. But it's the thing is if it's more than 2 or 3 people, I don't remember which number, then it constitutes as a public meeting, and then the entire property is open for the public to go onto. So when we're talking about people's private property, particularly one that's as dangerous as this one is, it's not a good idea for more than 2 special people to go. So, but I did take some photographs. So if we want to formally put this on the next agenda to view the photographs, I can show the photographs so that you folks can see what's going on. There was snow, unfortunately, on the ground. Couldn't adjust the date, and I couldn't handle the weather. Couldn't manage the weather. So, but I think from the photographs that I've got, you guys will get the idea. It's 114 Worcester Road. Yep.
Joey, in that discussion that you had, was there any discussion about testing, soil samples, water samples, professional services?
This property is under an enforcement issue with the Bureau of Waste Site Cleanup as well, from what I understand, so that would come from them. So I do know that there's some folks in the community that are concerned as to what, it is an old junk site. There's going to be some pollutants. We just, that type of testing would come from Bureau of Waste Site Cleanup. So they've got the wetlands piece of DEP and us, and then they've got DEP, the Bureau of Waste Site Cleanup, that they've got to manage. So.
Okay. So I just hope we stay parallel with them as far as the time course. I hate to approve our stuff and leave that out there.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I do. Yeah, it does.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Anything else?
That's it. That's it.
Excellent. Next meeting is January 6th at right here, back at the Selectmen. And I'm looking for a motion to adjourn at 7:18.
So moved.
Commissioner Shivers first. Commissioner Foley's second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Merry Christmas, everybody.
All right,
I
happy
know.
holidays, everyone.
It's 7:16, right? It was like 2 minutes fast before.